Hey dreamers, Bryce here from Midnight Notion, singer-songwriter, musician, and a big fan of Metallica, but I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be the Judas Kiss? Let's use math to find out. Cue the intro.
So Ted, give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! Judas Kiss, track number 8 off of Death Magnetic, and I'm so sad to say that the end of the record is coming, but we're going to enjoy it while it's here. We're going to listen to this song, You and Me. I'm going to stop it anytime I find something interesting, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm not stopping because of copyright. I'm stopping because I'm an analyzer. Maybe we can learn something together. Then I'm going to grade it using the following categories: composition, memorability, emotional response, instrumentation, and lyrics. Each category is a 0 to 4 scale with a grand total of 20 possible points. We'll find out at the end of the video if this song has what it takes to get to the top 20. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I heard that if you don't hit the subscribe button, somebody's gonna watch you while you're sleeping. That's really terrifying. Don't let that happen. So hit the subscribe button. Oh God, what have I said? Let's listen to the song. Okay, I want to talk about that intro real quick. Ba, 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 ba. In the official tab booklet, it tabs it out as a 4/4 measure with a 2/4 measure. And then it goes back to 4/4, and then it goes back to 2/4. But my friends, what is 4 plus 2? It's 6. Why don't we just call this a 6/4 measure? I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know why they felt the need to add a measure change every other, but I think you could cover it in just 6/4. So to me, bum, 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 bum. There you go, 6 hits. It's 6 hits. I also think it's interesting because you got a ba, drum roll, ba, double hit, dun, dun, hit, roll, and then hit, hit. So hit, roll, hit, double hit, roll, hit, hit. So he's changing it up in this intro. Why I'm explaining this is because I talk a lot about 3+1, or setting patterns and breaking them. The pattern is drum fill straight, and then double hit, and then drum fill straight. That's 3. And then the 4th time around, because we've already had 3 ways through, we can already tell it's going to be roll, double, roll, double. So when we get to that 4th time through, we think there's going to be a double, but he tricks us and he doesn't play anything at all. Very interesting. That's how you keep things focused, or keep things interesting, rather. In the studio, I remember seeing a clip of James himself air drumming along with this song, and even he does the air drums for the part that is not there. The part that is not there. So I just think that's really interesting. You could argue whether or not that's the right choice, but I think it's interesting. Let's get into the song, which has fewer time signature changes than I expected, and some that just don't seem like they're correct, as far as the official tab book says. But I digress. Let's jam. I love that pick scrape with a muted cymbal. Shunk! Shunk! 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I love this riff so much. We got kind of we got a rah to it. Is there a wah going on? But you can hear the bass sliding. Boo, 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 boom. He's doing like a full slide. It's not just a boo, 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 boo. You could just hit the note boo, but he's sliding it down boo, and it really gives an extra dimension to this chord. And of course, right after I've explained that, let's go back just a little bit, because right after that, when they go into the main riff, when everybody's playing straight again, he's just going bump, 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 which is what a bass would do. But I just want you to hear the slide. Hear that? It It doesn't sound like a wah to me, but there is something interesting going on. They're doing some sort of a, they're bending the string a little bit. They're really giving an aggression to that really dissonant note. It's really cool. This next part, I thought for sure that it was in some other time signature, but it's straight 4/4. It's just an odd rhythm. They've dissected a 4-bar measure in a way that is uncommon. Do 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 do. They're emphasizing weird parts of it, and I find that really interesting. I can't even count. See, it doesn't feel like 4/4 when I count it out. This is weird. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but apparently you know what? I'm going to check it one more time. Yeah, just as I said, 4/4. It's just weird because the that fourth one is on the offbeat. It's the one and so then the first palm mute is the 2 and. I don't know. It's strange. It's weird. I love it. It's different. It's new. Now we're in 3/4. Everything is in threes. Count it along at home. Here we go.
When the world has turned its back, when the days have turned pitch black, when the fear of ducks your tongue, when the fire's dead and gone. So what now? Where go I?
I always loved that section, that break. We got this weird, it's a really weird pattern for a verse. Just to sit in this 3/4 measure, but to have it all on snares, and it's an interesting pattern. But then the break, so what now? Where go I? It's not just it's just hey. I've always thought it was an interesting break in the verses, and I think it's really catchy, but I've always heard it as where do I? It's where go I? And I feel like that's really grammatically odd. Where go I? And I don't know, it must be a reference, but for some reason it just feels weird to me. You tell me, does it feel weird to you?
When you think it's all said and done, when you on the Oscar side, selfish written dead goodbyes, twisting on the turn again, when the pieces never fit. So what now? Where go I? When you think it's all said and done.
4/4. Now we've reached the riff, right? If anybody at home listening to this or watching this was following Mission Metallica as they were making this record, this was the riff that they were really pushing hard. Like, I remember hearing this chorus and being like, okay, yeah, we got a record coming. This is wonderful chorus. Let's jam.
Bow down, sell your soul to me. I will set you free. Pacify your demons. Bow down, surrender unto me. Submit infectiously. Sanctify your demons into abyss. You don't exist. Cannot resist the Judas Kiss.
It's such a cool riff, but man, it's such a cool riff. I love the drums too. We got mostly washy hi-hats, open hi-hats maybe. And then for the second part, sanctify your demons. When he gets to the demons section, we switch to the crash cymbal. Do 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 do, and it makes it interesting to me. I don't know what else to say. It's interesting. There's the wah guitar. I knew there was wah in this song. I think I did it. I think I almost successfully counted it in 4/4. It's weird. You almost can't count it straight because of all those offbeats. You almost have to just go ba da da da. You got to just shake with it because it's an odd feeling, man. But it's 4/4.
When the storm has blacked your sky, intuition crucified. When the eagle strips your reign, assassinate the living flame. So what now? We go ahead. When you think it's all said and done,
China cymbal.
venom of a life
I love those China cymbal hits. Cool.
insane. Bites into your fragile vein. Internalize and decimate. Patronize and complicate. So what now? We go ahead. When you think it's all said and done.
Something important to note, aside from the lyrics, I didn't hear anything new in that second verse. Did you hear something new? Because really, there wasn't like an additional lead guitar. There wasn't like a change in the pattern. They were playing all in 3/4 just as they were before. I don't think the drums changed. I don't think the guitars changed. I didn't hear any background, like now we have a double, like an extra harmonized vocal or anything. It feels very copy-paste. So aside from the lyrics, it feels like the same. Compositionally, that's a little bit of a bummer. I like to see some growth in the song. I don't want to see just the same exact verse again, but it's not terrible. It's just something to note. They usually have something new or something. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that. Maybe they don't always. Maybe I'm talking about myself. I always have something new in the second verse. There's always something different. I just use that as a songwriting principle. And they have that for most of their catalog, but I'm sure some of their earlier stuff, there isn't much change to the second chorus, or second verse rather. But it's just interesting to note that this late in their career, they're not doing it, because I think every other song on this record has had something. So I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm just thinking of it now and I forgot to say it for the last 90 some videos, but just felt I should point it out.
Bow down, sell your soul to me. I will set you free.
Watch the cymbal.
Pacify your demons. Bow down, surrender unto me.
Phil.
Submit infectiously.
Oh no. I said there was going to be a fill. There wasn't a fill. I'm sorry. It's going to be in the next one.
Sanctify your demons into abyss. You don't exist. Cannot resist the Judas Kiss.
Now we've got this riff again, but we're climbing down. We're going to play with it a little bit. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. And we're going to riff on this sort of motif, if you will. If you haven't heard of motif before, check out motifs. Just look up motif. M-O-T-I-F. That is in film, in music, when you have a theme that repeats throughout. I should have been saying motif instead of catchphrases. This isn't a new thing I've learned. I just haven't been saying it. That's all. Motif is something like the Jaws theme. You hear Jaws' theme anytime Jaws is in the room. Motif is like the Imperial March. Whenever Darth Vader shows up after the first movie, because the Imperial March isn't in the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, but after that you always hear that bum 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 bum. That's his motif, his theme, if you will. The motif here is boo doo doo doo, and we're gonna goof with that motif and bring it up and down in the scale to kind of build us into the solo. So really interesting patterns here. We are going to see some 2/4 measures popping in, which is really strange because I guess you're just going to be bobbing your head on the ones. So even though there's an extra 2 beats or just an extra 2 beats, it's not going to feel that way, right? You're going to just keep bobbing your head. I'll see if I can point them out. I'm counting all wrong. I gotta look at the book again. Yeah, this is so weird. It's the strangest thing. They have the do 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 do. That's in 4/4 and then 2/4 and then 4/4 again. And they repeat that over and over. And then you go to the next section, and it's odd to me because if I was to write this out, 4/4 plus 4/4 is 8/4, and then 2/4 is 10/4. Why not just write it as 10/4 and let that one measure repeat? I don't know who wrote this thing out, who notated it. I don't know if they made that decision in the studio. I don't know if Metallica even thinks about these things. Maybe they're just playing it natural and someone had to transcribe it for them. But either way, I think that that's really strange. I would have just called it a 10/4 measure. Got to build. This is really a reference to the very beginning of the song. Bum, bum, bum. And then they had the shink. We're not doing the shink anymore. We're going to keep this kick drum go. And keep this kick drum go. We're going to build this up into a solo, but I love this sort of eerie, like, bum, bum, bum. It's like your heartbeat, like, oh no, betrayal is coming, right? I'm standing here. I'm seeing the guards coming over the hill. They're coming for me. Oh God. They're setting the scene, and then we get a nice little solo here with an interesting pattern, but it's fun. If you could call that a motif, I suppose if you wanted to, you could do that. They're kind of repeating that same thing, both in the rhythm and the lead, but it's an interesting start to a solo. We're in a different part of the key signature now. We've risen up. We're no longer on that low note. We're climbing the rhythm just as we are with the solo, and then we have a really excellent stop coming up. I love that. It's got like that extra build. I'm going back just a little bit here, just so I can hear it again, and we can go into the full solo. So we've had this sort of just sort of wonky rhythm. It's same as we've heard it in Frantic. And then we have that big build up with the drum fill, the snare roll, all the guitars are, and then we have the stop, and then everything is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and we're doing paku paku all over the place, and it's just really building it. I love that. Double kick.
Judas lives, recite this vow. I've become your
I love those sugar.
new God now.
I love this new add to the riff. This little climb down at the end with the crash cymbals, really cool. I counted it both ways. It works really well as 4/4, 2/4, 4/4, just like they said, but it works perfect as 10/4. I'm just saying, just make it 10/4. I am a big sucker for whenever you have a wah guitar solo, when you just fast pick the one note. That's all he's doing, but he's using his foot to command the wah pedal. So you get the... It's a really cool effect. They've used it in a few of their songs. I've used it in one of my songs. If you go look at I Feel Bad for You from March to Midnight, that is a perfect example of the same thing. It's a fun way to play lead. Like this a lot. We have the bass is holding out notes, like it's ringing out, but the rhythm guitar is he's doing really riffy stuff, and then the lead guitar is just kind of light in the background, not really a whole lot going on. So the thickness of the song is in the bass guitar and in the drums. Boom, doom, doom, doom. But having it's kind of come down, and it's both small and large at the same time. You can feel James kind of coming in, you know, he's like whispering almost, watch out, it's coming. And the drums are like warning of danger, impending doom is coming. And the guitars are like just hanging out. They're like, we're ready. Watch your towers hit the ground. Lured your children never found. Helped your kings abuse their crown. In the heart of feeble man, plant the seeds of my own plant. I've always been curious about Lars's choice here. I mean, it's unique. It's different, right? It's not, as they would call it, stock. But I think if I was doing the drums for the song, I would do a straight build, because it just has so much more. I'd be hitting the toms and the snare at the same time, because this stop thing. Listen to what all the guitars are doing. They're all doing the build. They're climbing up the scale, and they're all steady like that. And 1 and 2 and 3, and they're all that eighth notes. And Lars is for some reason stopping. I don't think it fits. I think it's weird, but whatever. It is different. Let's go back just a little bit. 5 seconds. In the heart of feeble man, plant the seeds of my own plan. The strong and powerful will fall. Find a piece of me in all. Inside you also bow down. Sell your soul to me. I will set you free. Pacify your demons. Bow down. Surrender unto me. Submit infectiously. There's the fill. Sanctify your demons into abyss. You don't exist. Cannot resist the Judas Kiss. Great. Yes. And again, the motif, shuk, shuk, that's a good motif for the whole song. They used it throughout. What a great ending to a great song. I enjoyed it. There's a couple of maybe hiccups along the way, but let's talk about it now, yeah? Let's give the sucker some points. Here we go. Whoosh. Composition. I happen to think that this song is a very, very, very interesting composition. Yes, it goes verse, chorus, and basically bridge, chorus. But the bridge has two different sections. There's the Judas lives, recite this vow, and then there's another solo, and then there's like a couple of different solos in this song, and then it comes down to the toms part and the slower and the build up back to the chorus, and then a final chorus. So structurally similar-ish, but it has enough of a journey along there that it is interesting. Also, I've been talking about it for a long, long time. I love time signature changes, and even though I think that the official manual is wrong and the way it lists the time signature changes, the changes are there regardless. You cannot play this song in 4/4 all the way through. There's going to be someone getting off beat somewhere. So knowing where those changes are is essential to being able to perform the song. That means it's a top tier quality. I don't want to say like it's like the best quality because it has time signature changes. I'm just saying a normal garage band rock band couldn't just play this song. It takes some actual skill to craft something so well that it's in interesting time signatures, but you never lose your rhythm. You can bob your head all the way through to the beat without ever getting lost, and you don't even realize that those changes are happening. Maybe you do realize. Maybe you listen at home and you're like, I don't know what to do in this song. But for the most part, the downbeat is always the same, and it is very intriguing to me. I find that to be a masterful composition. We also get a wide variety of styles, or not styles, but just feels. We get the wah, bum, ba, ba. It's very rocky. This whole song is very like, oh, I'm chained up, right? I'm locked down. And then you get that chorus, and it's so, every time that chorus comes in, bow down, it's such a relief. It's a relieving chorus. Even though you've heard it a million times before, you still get to that point, and it's relief. And I think that's something that you have to call attention to, because the rockiness of the rest of the song pays off when you get to the chorus. And that's, I think, a great structure for a chorus. Every chorus should feel like a relief or some sort of like oh, this is the moment I've been waiting for. And every time we come to it in the song, including when they play the chorus while the solo is happening on top of it and there's no vocals, it still has that same like, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's so cool. I love this composition. I don't have any problems with it. That's a 4. Memorability. As I was just saying, that chorus just pays off. Bow down. Da 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 da. Bow down. We get to say bow down a couple of times. We also get the nice stop. Bum, bum, bum. The Judas Kiss. It's a great spot. I think if I could go back to composition, which I'm not going to, I would have preferred a full stop. But either way, they give us a chance to say it out loud. Judas Kiss. And then we have that nice tom section. Boom, 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 boom. That's a great spot to get us clapping or hey. Hey, there's a lot of excellent spots in this song for audience participation, and I think that makes it more memorable, and man, does that chorus ever sing. So for me, memorability, it's a 4. Emotional response. I do really like this song. I'm positive. I'm happy about it. I think that if I was listening to this, I think this song took a while to grow on me, right? I liked it initially, but I wasn't so sure of it. The rhythm is kind of goofy, and it takes a little while to kind of grow on you, but it has since grown on me. And for that reason, I'm positive about it. But I have to acknowledge that it is a song that needs to grow on you, or at least it did for me. So maybe it has to grow on you. Maybe it hasn't yet grown on you, but it grew on me. I also feel like there's the little dip in the middle section. The solo, maybe the first solo is kind of like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. And then it does build its way back up and it wins you over again. So I never checked out, but there is maybe a little dip in there. So just for that reason, just for that one little reason, some of Lars's choices there in that build, and just because of the wonky rhythms, we'll give it emotional response a 3. Instrumentation, everybody's doing really, really well. I love everything. You can hear a lot of bass in this song because he's really offsetting what the guitars are doing. He's holding down those low notes while they're riffing. Robert's doing a really great job. I love the wah in this song. Wah, no, wah. But even when they don't have the wah, and the way they're pulling on those strings is very, very appealing to me. I'm knocking this one point. Everybody's going to get mad at me. But that weird fill as we're building back up, it doesn't fit for me, man. It's so weird. Just do a straight fill. That's Lars experimenting, trying something new. I appreciate the experiment, but it like makes me go, huh? That's what you're gonna play here? I don't know. So just for that one reason, I'm pulling it down, and also just kind of that it's a little wonky. That's all. So instrumentally, they did great. It's a 3. Lyrics. The first verse gives us a nice example of anaphora. If you haven't been following for too long, anaphora is the using the same word as the start of each line. So when this happens, when this happens, when this happens, when it's always when at the beginning for the first verse. The second half of, so there's like a verse and a where go I, and there's another half of the verse, another where go I, and then a final line. Usually that final line or the maybe a couple lines before that are similar in both verses, but it is an interesting setup. When this, when this, when this, very similar to Some Kind of Monster in that way. But I appreciate that he doesn't stick with that pattern all the way through, because the second verse feels more like here's a setup and here's what happens if that happens, and here's another setup and here's what happens. Where go I? But this song is really setting up what do you do when everything has fallen apart? Where do you go? What else is there left to do when all of the world has crumbled around you? That sounds like a nice lyric. Somebody write a song with that lyric. I think it's interesting. For those of you who haven't maybe read the Bible or haven't studied Christian tradition or Christian religion, Judas is a character who basically sold out Jesus to the Pharisees. I don't know if I'm saying this all right. I'm not a religious expert either. But Jesus was basically a threat to the people. They thought that him calling himself a king was bad, and so they wanted to capture him, but he was, I guess, evasive enough, and Judas was the one that basically got bought out. And they said, hey, if you show us who Jesus is, we'll give you money or whatever it is. And so Judas said, okay, the person who I kiss is the Lord. And so he goes up to Jesus like, hey, buddy, mwah, nice to see you. And they're like, get him. And there's this whole thing. And that led to Jesus's death. And so Judas is regularly referred to as a major traitor, somebody who stabbed a best friend in the back. He was an apostle, and then he took the person he was following and turned him in, leading to his death. And so treachery is a major concept anytime you hear the word Judas or the name Judas. So that's the story as I recall it. I'm sure someone in the scholarly department is going to knock me for getting something wrong, but this song is talking about selling your soul, and that's either to Judas or maybe this is Judas himself. Like, hey, I could be bought out. Anybody got a vice for me? Some money, some drugs and alcohol, some addictions of other sorts. You can pay me off because I got nothing else to live for on this planet. Everything else is crumbling around me, so sell me away. And that's what it feels like to me. I like the way the song is written. I like the story it's telling, but I also like how general it is. It refers to the Judas Kiss, but it isn't telling the story of Judas. It's really just telling the story of someone who's just fallen apart and is looking for something new. And I don't know. It's interesting to me. This falls to me in the same category as Devil's Dance. So I really like what's happening. I love what they're saying. I love how it's written. No complaints. Lyrically, 4. And so the Judas Kiss gets 18 points. Let's find out where it happens to land on the board. Oh, it is tied in 13th place with Until It Sleeps. We got ties all over the board now, which means say goodbye to the God That Failed. Now on the chopping block is the tie between King Nothing and Through the Never. So technically this is a top 19 right now. If another song takes over this top 20, Through the Never will go and King Nothing will stay, but they're still tied. So just know that that's how that happens. That's our top 20. I'm impressed. Judas Kiss getting up there with Until It Sleeps is an interesting tie to me, but I don't think I have any complaints with that. Let me know in the comments below. It's your turn. Use math. Use my system. Add it up. Tell me what score you would get for this song. Make sure to check out Midnight Notion. My music is available all over the internet. And of course, smash that subscribe button because tomorrow we're going to listen to an instrumental, which means the scoring system changes just a little bit. We'll see how this one adds up against all the other instrumentals. So I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.